going to be a 10% reduction in capacity at 40 of our locations.
Tonight, travelers are being warned to prepare for delays at the nation's busiest airports, including major hubs here in the West, as the government shutdown leads to an air traffic controller shortage. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. We do begin tonight with that air traffic slowdown. Today, transportation officials said the shutdown is going to force airports nationwide to reduce air traffic by thousands of flights a day beginning this Friday. The FAA announced it will be cutting air traffic by 10% at 40 high-volume airports. That's roughly 3,500 flights per day. All of this comes as air traffic controllers are missing paychecks because of the ongoing government shutdown, with some calling out of work.
This is data-based. This is not based on what airline travels, has more flights out of what location. This is about where is the pressure and how do we alleviate the pressure.
And in some ways, Secretary Duffy does not have a choice. Where they had shortages before the government shutdown, where they had controller shortages, en route centers, et cetera, I'm surprised he didn't mention some of those, but they really don't have a choice because he said, for example, in New York, they were calling in 80%. They were short on controllers and in Newark. And so if they have those kind of people calling out either sick leave or trauma leave or whatever, then they don't really have a choice.
The FAA says it will be meeting with airline executives to decide how to implement those flight reductions and that additional measures could be taken after the initial reduction goes into effect. Now, it was not immediately clear which airports would be affected by this move. Here's a live look tonight at the runway at San Francisco International Airport. Many of the busiest airports in the country are here in the western U.S. That includes SFO, along with LAX and SeaTac Airport in Seattle. Well, as the government shutdown drags on, millions of Americans who rely on federal food assistance are going without. Here in the West, many farm workers and Spanish-speaking families are left to decide whether to pay rent or buy groceries. KTVU's Janet Katsuyama spoke with one mother who's struggling to feed her family and a nonprofit trying to help.
So we currently have 532 families that we support, and that's about 1,200 people in total.
It's delivery day, and this week, the need for these pallets of food has doubled. Dorina Moraida is co-founder of Hijas del Campo in Contra Costa County. She says many of their Spanish-speaking clients didn't know their CalFresh SNAP benefits would be suspended this month with the government shutdown.
There is a language barrier. A lot of times people are not informed about what's going to happen. You know, a lot of times this information is sent via an email. Some clients do not have access to email.
Inez, who didn't want to be identified, is a farm worker and working mom who says she usually gets $270 a month for her family. But on November 1st, she faced a difficult decision.
La renta o la comida?
Pay the rent or buy food. And for some in mixed status families, fear of immigration raids is also a factor.
Our community members are afraid to go out and receive services or to even go to the grocery stores.
A stressful time, especially for children.
Mi hija dice que
She says that there's many days where her daughter feels depressed and anxious leaving to go to school because she doesn't know what she's going to return to.
Hijas del Campo is trying to help. We followed volunteers Wednesday as they made deliveries, taking hot meals, bags of food, and information in Spanish directly to Bay Area farm workers out in the field. And there, rooted in the land where Americans get our food, is the irony of our nation's food economy coming full circle.
A lot of the times the food that we are distributing is food that was picked by the farm workers themselves. So there's a huge irony that the people who are picking our food and are ensuring that we have food on our tables have a hard time securing food for their own families.
This organization and others say they hope the community will help support them as they try to support those here who are so in need. Reporting from Brentwood, Janet Katsuyama, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Communities across the country and here in the West are stepping up to help those who rely on SNAP benefits. There is now a community pantry set up at the SeaTac Airport in Seattle where people can donate food and other essentials for employees, some of them going unpaid as they continue to work during the shutdown. Turning now to the election, millions of people went to the polls yesterday across the country, with voters backing Democrats in a number of high-profile races. And in California, voters handed Democrats another victory as the redistricting measure, Proposition 50, passed overwhelmingly. Fox 11's Mario Ramirez has more tonight on the impact this measure could have beyond the state of California.
The election was called just after 8 o'clock when polls officially closed. Governor Newsom calling the statewide turnout unprecedented for this special election. We're just outside the LA County Ballot Processing Center, where officials told us they wrapped up their initial count early this morning after a high-stakes special election that's expected to shift the balance of power in Washington. Unofficial results from the Secretary of State's office this morning show California voters approved Prop 50 64 to 36%. Just over 8 million Californians cast their ballots, with many of them showing up at the polls Tuesday in person. The majority of voters approving the measure, also known as the Election Rigging Response Act. Prop 50 will establish new congressional district maps for the next 3 elections in 2026, 28, and 2030.
It's been a good evening for everybody, not just the Democratic Party. But what a night for the Democratic Party. A party that is in its ascendancy. A party that's on its toes, no longer on its heels.
I believe in fair and equal representation in our Congress. I don't believe that some states could have more than others. So if this could level it out.
You have to do your job and read up and keep up with what's going on and get involved. Don't just sit back and complain about it. Do something about it.
Newsom called the vote a rejection of President Trump's policy, saying it's all on the line in 2026 for the midterms. Now, the results are expected to be certified by the state no later than December 12th. We can tell you that by 3:30 this morning here at this processing facility, officials said that they had finished their initial count, but there's a 7-day period for those mail-in ballots to arrive here and continue to be counted. For now, we're in the City of Industry. I'm Mario Ramirez.
And already there is a legal challenge to Proposition 50. Today, California Assemblyman David Tanguipa, along with 18 California voters and the California Republican Party, filed a federal lawsuit challenging the redistricting measure in court. That lawsuit argues that Prop 50 unconstitutionally gerrymanders districts in violation of both the 14th and 15th Amendments.
The map is designed to favor one race of California voters over others. This violates the 14th Amendment's guarantee of equal protection under the law and the right under the 15th Amendment to not have one's vote abridged on account of race.
And at the center of the challengers' lawsuit is an argument that the newly redrawn congressional maps in California increase the power of Latino voters. Governor Newsom's office issued a statement in response to that lawsuit today saying, quote, "We haven't reviewed the lawsuit, but if it's from the California Republican Party and Harmeet Dillon's law firm, it's going to fail. Good luck, losers." Turning now to Arizona, where human remains found in Navajo County have been identified as a girl who went missing last month. 16-year-old Shalistia Coley, who goes by Tia, reportedly went missing October 16th. The White Mountain Apache Police Department says the remains were found Monday in the community of White River. It remains unclear tonight how Coley died or if foul play is suspected in this case. Seattle police have made an arrest in a 30-year-old cold case. The suspect accused of killing a 14-year-old girl. Investigators say Tanya Frazier had just left a summer school class at Meany Middle School in 1994 when she vanished. She was on her way to a thrift shop where she worked. Her body was later found just blocks from where she was last seen. Detectives have now arrested 57-year-old Mark Russ on suspicion of homicide. Investigators say the DNA evidence links him to the killing. Tonight, Los Angeles police are searching for the smash-and-grab robbers who targeted a jewelry store. This happened Monday at the Valley Indoor Swap Meet in the Panorama City neighborhood of L.A. 3 suspects smashed the display cases and took items. Police say during the robbery, a security guard was shot. Tonight, his condition is still unknown. And in Phoenix, police body camera video captured the tense moments as a suspect on the run from deputies crashed at Sky Harbor Airport.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Roll over! Roll over! there somebody else in there?
Yes, my friend.
Okay, well, sit down.
Yes, my friend, sir.
We're trying to help them.
Deputies arrived on the scene and helped rescue a passenger who was inside the car as it caught fire. The driver ultimately was arrested. The sheriff's office says the driver sped away from deputies who were making a DUI enforcement stop last weekend. Authorities say that pursuit was called off for safety reasons, but then moments later, that vehicle crashed into barriers going 90 miles per hour at the airport. Everyone is expected to survive their injuries. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, they've been invited, but will they go? Up next, the campaign for the LA Dodgers to decline an invitation to visit the White House following their World Series win. Also tonight, what was found inside 100-year-old time capsule that was hidden inside the walls of a Utah church.
And in weather, we are tracking some clouds and some rain showers across parts of the West Coast. We will have more on your forecast coming up after the break.
Immigrants' rights organizations in Southern California are urging the LA Dodgers to decline an invitation from President Trump to visit the White House following their win in the World Series. As Fox 11's Haley Winslow reports tonight, skipping the visit would be a break with a long-standing tradition.
Andalon, I think they deserve a big round of applause.
It's one of the highest honors in all of sports, an invitation to the White House from the President of the United States. After Will Smith's clutch 11th inning homer in Game 7, sealed by Yamamoto's game-ending double play, President Trump congratulated the world champs on Truth Social, writing, "See you all at the White House."
Superstars, Mookie Betts, oh, is he good?
The boys in blue went to D.C. after the past few World Series wins, but
it's time for Dodger baseball to give Los Angeles some extra innings of empathy by intentionally walking past the White House.
The morning after, key players laughed it up with one of Mr. Trump's favorite critics, Jimmy Kimmel.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
An alliance of immigrant advocacy groups unites in protest, circulating a petition after the victory parade, calling on fans to join them.
Do not shake the hand of the person who's causing all this suffering in our community.
Not all Dodgers fans agree.
I think they deserve to go. They won the championship, which they worked hard to get it.
I think they should go and they should voice their opinion.
Outside the Dodgers' home, a place that's brought so much joy, resilience, and unity to LA, community leaders paint a stark contrast, reflecting on a year of profound loss. Homes reduced to rubble and families torn apart by deportation.
You see the signs right here? Right there. Dodger owner Mark Walter is invested in ICE detention centers.
The Dodgers owner faces backlash after reports that his investment firm holds a small stake in the GEO Group, a private prison company that operates facilities for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. As advocates call on the Dodgers to step up to the plate to support the same community that's always stood by them.
It's time for Dodger baseball to hit a home run for human dignity and help us all feel safe at home.
And that was Fox 11's Haley Winslow reporting tonight from Southern California. So far, the Dodgers organization has not commented on the campaign. In the Bay Area, some veterans were treated to a feast today as a show of appreciation for their service. The 21st annual Celebrity Chefs Veterans Day Luncheon was held today at the Veterans Home of California in the Napa Valley. The multi-course meal was prepared by local Yountville chefs. The menu included coconut lemongrass soup with Dungeness crab, grilled hanger steak, and for dessert, banana chocolate chip bread pudding with caramel sauce. Organizers say this is an annual opportunity to recognize what veterans have done to ensure our daily freedom.
It's such a treat to be able to thank them with a formal sit-down meal where they can experience the wonderful culinary art that we have here in Yountville. And it's very special to us to be able to say thank you.
Veterans Day is coming up next Tuesday. The Veterans Home of California in Yountville currently houses nearly 600 aging and or disabled U.S. military veterans, as well as their spouses. Well, the Los Angeles Police Department has released a report identifying major shortcomings in its response to the devastating Palisades fire at the beginning of this year. The review cited breakdowns in communication, sloppy record keeping, and poor coordination with the city's fire department as key issues. The agencies failed to establish a unified command structure despite working from the same post, and that led to confusion about who exactly was in charge during the emergency. All right, turning now to our weather here in the west, and we are seeing snow and strong winds. You can hear those gusts in that video. This comes to us from the Sierra. We're seeing snow falling in the mountains in both California and Nevada. The UC Berkeley Central Sierra Snow Lab shared this video earlier today. For more, let's bring in KTVU's chief meteorologist, Mark DeMaio, who has a closer look at the forecast across the west. Hey, Mark.
Hi there, Alex. Yeah, an atmospheric river really affecting portions of Northern California, also up in the Pacific Northwest. And up in Washington, these numbers have really been adding up, and they have a lot more rain in their forecast. So you can see a significant rainfall just over the past 24 hours. A place like Seattle, 0.85, reporting some rainfall right now, and Olympia close to an inch of rainfall. So here's a look at the radar update from the Bay Area out toward the Sierra, Northern California, up into Oregon and Washington, a fairly active radar once again. And here's some of the coverage right now from Portland to Seattle. As I mentioned, Seattle reporting some rainfall right now, and still you can see all that moisture moving in from the Pacific. So this has been the target with this weather system producing the rain and the higher elevation snowfall. As you can see, this area of green right now, that is a flood watch, as you can pick out, for Mason County. That's in place through Thursday and into Friday until 4 p.m. on Friday. As we back out the maps, we'll show you this. This was the scene today in Seattle, of course, all the stormy skies there. Temperature of 60 degrees in the San Francisco Bay Area. Some rain showers, especially for the northern half of the Bay Area. Some rain showers out there. San Francisco, temperature 65 degrees. But the winds are really a big issue out toward the Bay Area earlier today. Take a look at some of these wind gusts. You can see from around 40 to 50 to 60. In one site just north of the Golden Gate Bridge, 82 miles an hour. So strong winds linked up with wind advisories and high wind warnings. In Phoenix, this was the scene today, looking out toward the full moon, the supermoon, and temperature of 88 degrees earlier this afternoon. Here's a look at the satellite and the radar right now. Once again, look at all that action affecting the Pacific Northwest, kind of draping down into parts of Northern California. And here's some of the coverage right now, once again on the radar. Here's the plan for tomorrow. More rain for Seattle, San Francisco, some clouds in the morning, becoming partly cloudy into the afternoon hours. Clearing skies for Southern California. It's a warm day for Phoenix and some gusty winds out toward Denver, but they are expecting some more sunshine. Here is the forecast models. We do put it into motion, and once again, we're watching this activity roll in from the Pacific. So this is the Fox weather model. This is 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Those rainfall, at least the rainfall coverage increasing and intensity. So this is Seattle down toward Portland, Medford, and even in portions of Northern California, we'll be keeping an eye on some rain chances. So take a look here at the forecast over the next 3 days. Of course, we're talking about the rain for Seattle tomorrow. San Francisco, clouds in the morning, becoming partly cloudy. Southern California, pretty quiet weather pattern. Phoenix, those temperatures on the warm side, around 86 degrees. Jackpot Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 86 degrees out toward Phoenix. So you can see the calm conditions down there, but once again, starting to see the stormy conditions continue over the next few days up in the Pacific Northwest.
All right, sticking with that stormy weather. Mark, Thank you. A century-old time capsule has been found at a church in Utah. The item was hidden away back in 1924, and it was found inside the walls of the Japanese Church of Christ in Salt Lake City. The church is one of 2 remaining buildings in the city's Japantown. The metal box contained memorabilia from Japantown's early days, including Japanese and English language Bibles, local newspapers written in both English and Japanese, an American flag with 48 stars, as well as a hand-stitched Japanese flag. Coming up tonight, here on West Coast Wrap, a junior lifeguard springs into action for a rescue in the open ocean. What he did to help people in a capsized boat. In Southern California, a 12-year-old junior lifeguard, along with several other Good Samaritans, are being praised tonight for rescuing people from a capsized boat. Fox 5's Jamie Chambers has more now from Oceanside.
The Oceanside Harbor is calm tonight, but Saturday in heavy surf, 12-year-old Nathan Usher's fishing trip turned into a rescue mission.
We heard on the radio that there was a capsized boat in the harbor mouth.
And as Nathan's vessel got closer,
we saw two people on jet skis that were helping out everybody.
Enter Cody Harris and Taylor Hamilton, who were planning an afternoon of heavy surf tow-in surfing.
Jumped off the ski and immediately I asked them how many were on board. They told me 5 and I counted 5, and so we knew everyone was accounted for.
My main thing was to get them to safety as fast as I could and get back to get the other one.
5 women in their 60s had been hit by a sweeper wave and rolled in a center console fishing boat pushed right next to the rock jetty.
Some of them were on top of the boat, some of them were in between the rocks and the boat, some were out a couple yards from the boat holding on to floating material.
Taylor acted as rescue swimmer as Cody handed off patients to 12-year-old Nathan, who was using his junior lifeguard calm and first aid training.
I told them all to take a minute and see if they were actually hurt before saying no. And then that's when we found out that one of them had a cut on their leg.
Nathan elevated and dressed the leg wound and stopped the bleeding. As more rescuers poured on scene, the danger had passed, the boat was lost, and a handful of capable watermen were trained for something they never knew was coming.
We play rescue all the time. That's what we do. We drop each other into waves and then we go pick each other up. And so it was kind of just a skill that's developed over time, and we were able to use it, and it was great.
This is a story where everyone involved will remember this for the rest of their lives.
We live in one of the best places on the planet, and to see everyone come together like that, it's exactly what I expected, actually.
When I got home, I didn't really believe that it happened.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah, I'm proud of myself.
Nathan should be proud of himself along with all the other rescuers. I asked him, does he ever think about becoming a lifeguard maybe in Del Mar? He said nope, but he is thinking about it in Oceanside. From Oceanside Harbor, I'm Jamie Chambers. Back to you in the studio.
They all did a great job. All right, now that Halloween is over, you may be wondering what to do with your jack-o'-lanterns and other pumpkin decorations. About 1 billion pounds of pumpkin waste end up in landfills across the U.S. every single year, but there are better ways to get rid of them. If your pumpkin isn't painted or coated in wax, you can put it in your green bin. You can also compost the pumpkin by cutting it up into small pieces and spreading them in your garden beds, layered with dry leaves or straw to balance the high moisture content. All right, finally tonight, the Oakland Zoo is sharing a sweet moment between 2 of its resident wallaroos. Video taken by a zookeeper shows the pair seemingly hugging each other inside their enclosure. The zoo posted this clip on social media with the caption, "Do you have your snuggle buddy ready?" Wallaroos are usually solitary animals, but zookeepers say mothers and their young often spend time side by side. Just adorable video there. That does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching as always. And a quick reminder before we go tonight, you can stay up to date on all the big stories we're covering across the West by heading to our website. It's westcoastwrap.com. And don't forget to stream all of our shows. You can do that on your smart TV. All you have to do is download that free Fox Local app. Have a great night, everyone.